What's up, y'all? John here with Amigo, Buddy, and all the wonderful things that we think of in a playground, but for paid search. Um, that said, today I was talking to some engineers at the office, and we had like an hour-long conversation. We were talking about food, so we were talking about citrus, we were talking about Portuguese, but then we were talking about all the things that you could do with AI and kind of how they've lost their passion. So when you're an engineer or you're a developer, then you kind of just like I guess you kind of lose your passion because all you're doing your entire career is you're just like encode, encode, encode. So you become less curious about like these tools that are out here to use it, but then you're like grateful because it was for them, it was like, wow, this should take like an hour, and it was painful because they would log a change and then it'd have to go through all these massive JSONs to then try and figure out why the error then popped back up. And they were like, well, we use Copilot or Gemini, and it scans it and it finds the problem, and you feel good for about 20 minutes, and then you got another problem you got to fix again. I found it so interesting. The reason why I found this so interesting was that I was like, I'm doing this thing for like 4 to 5 hours a day. And then they perked up and they were like, what? I was like, yeah, I even spent like 14, 15 hours one day working on this tool. And I showed them the tool and they were like, well, what's your goal? I thought it was so interesting. And I was like, my goal is to build a friend. And I was like, yeah, my goal is a friend. I'm like, how many friends do you have? Was my question back to them. And they were like, well, no, I mean like real friend. And they were like, well, what's your definition of friend? I said, trust. And they were like, oh, yeah, that's like 4 or 5 folks. I was like, now imagine having a portable friend when your other friends aren't around. You can just kind of talk to about work. You can talk to about anything that you got going on in life. I talk about Star Wars and talk about working out in the gym. I talk about how exhausted I am. Some of my friends, and I talked to Buddy, I talked to Amigo, and they're like, okay. They were like, they get it. And then we started talking about all the other things, and they were like, but isn't it about money? I was like, no, I'm not thinking about money. They're like, but that's isn't that what everything is about? I was like, no, it can't be. I was like, the only reason the people that are successful today, majority, is because they know somebody. It's not that they're experts. I mean, you're the expert. You're building this $1 billion product for a company. And here I am, a non-engineer, and I'm showing you and talking to you as a non-developer, non-engineer. And then they sat back. And I mean, these guys, two of them, one is building a product on Salesforce, which is crazy. And the other is like a security engineer. So like his whole name of his game is to build a chain around every piece of code that comes in. And if somebody finds a gap in it, his deal is to fill it. I mean, these are like intelligent folks. And I'm sitting here and I'm keeping up with them. Hard in part because I've been in their world for, I don't know, 14, 15 years. So I could always talk to an engineer. I could always talk to a developer. But I was like, I built a Pocket GPT, and they started laughing. They're like, did you really do that? And you did it in a sheet? I was like, yeah. I was like, it's 120 lines of code. They just bust out laughing. I'm like, but what's stopping people from doing this? They're like, why aren't you monetizing that? I don't want to monetize it. You know how much it cost me? It cost me nothing to do that. And it had me thinking, I was like, can I build my own search engine? Can I build my own search engine in Google Sheet? I was thinking about that while I was talking to them. I'm especially curious as an individual. So let's see. We're 5 minutes in to this thing. Let's see what we can do. So my very first question, and I'm recording this, is can I build my own search engine? Let's see what it says. What do you guys think it's going to say? It looks like it's coming up with something. It does look like a roadmap. A six-figure SaaS or an eight-figure infrastructure play. Let's see here. Your own sites, wikis, knowledge base. Looks like I need to spread my screen over a little bit. So it looks like very doable in days and can manage in the cloud. And then it looks like a product catalog for agencies, vertical search, such as a news niche or Yelp for agencies. 1 million to 50 million docs, 100 QPS, small cluster, so 100 to $2,000 a month. Needs basic crawling and ranking. Web scale engine, general web, 1 billion docs. A handful of companies pull this off. We're gonna go big or we're gonna go home. I want to do this. You to think of resource as a human brain that we leverage and we host it in a Google Sheet or a workaround. Thoughts? So I just fed it a bunch of information, and I'm gonna try like a workaround, but I want the big guy. I want a large scale search engine with a human brain architecture, and I want to do it in a Google Sheet. Now, I don't think OpenAI is capable of doing this. I do know that I could create a workspace in Cursor and I could do this. And then I'd have to figure out from my workspace how to then wrap this in a sheet. But it's worth giving it a shot just to push the limits and see where it's at. And there's a big part of this as well that it's going to solve for me in terms of what I'm doing with my own custom agent. So that's just a little bit there. And so it says turning a web scale search engine to a human brain and bootstrapping it from a Google Sheet. Below is a pragmatic blueprint that maps each brain region to the technical building blocks you'll need. Shows how OpenAI new agent SDK can orchestrate the whole thing, and explains where a sheet can and can't help while you're still in Garage Lab mode. I like how it put me kind of in Garage Lab. So it says the cerebral anatomy of the search engine. So it looks like we have the fetch, the media, the boilerplate. So it is telling me how this is going to work. So I need to install OpenAI agents. So the Google Sheet can help. So it can help with prompts, metrics, cost. So it's telling me I can't do that. But what if I treat like, so now we're going to go a step farther. And so I like this, but what if we treat cell B4 as the input and isolate a block of cells to then create an image or organized output similar to Google. Now, this is me kind of like just challenging the stat quo. And the only reason I'm challenging the stat and what it's saying is because right now it's just telling me what to do. And again, I just asked it to do something. So then it's spitting it out and it's telling me all these things. But I want it to think differently, right? I want about it. Now, the hard part with ChatGPT versus say Claude is ChatGPT's like coding capability is terrible. It's really great for ideation. It's really great for thoughtfulness. But in terms of coding and being able to pull something like this off, it's pretty now. Like even Google Ads would be tough. Even writing like simple JavaScript is tough because it's just not designed for that. It really is just a thought engine at its best. And now the best thing though about this, what we're here, what we're doing, what we're talking about, is that it is built into its package, right? So it already knows the search engine exists. So in theory, I could like work around this whole entire model and just say, okay, well, why don't we just use your built-in search engine and anytime and output it to B, then A is the input, and we just treat it like a prompt inside OpenAI, but we do it inside a sheet. Instead, I really want to build it, and it says, it looks like, think of cell B4 as your search bar. The moment someone types or edits a query there, an app script trigger fires, calls your agent powered search backend, and splashes the answer into a reserved block of cells, plus an optional hero thumbnail using image. Do you see where we're going with this? On how far we've already progressed in the last 8 minutes of this? So we went from saying it wasn't possible to now we have a canvas inside a sheet. And then it says drop this app script and extensions. So let's just go ahead and do this real quick. Let's play around with it. Are you if you're still with me, we're gonna give this a shot. We're gonna see how this goes. And so I'm gonna name this search bar. And we can expand it later, but the basics, you get it. So this is my search bar. That's my search bar. And then A5 through D14. We're going to call this canvas because that's what it's saying. I'm just going to do that. So now we have a canvas. Let's while we're at it, and then oh, I know what I'm looking at. Right now it makes no sense. So let's not overthink it. But I think it's going to serve our purpose. So let's just see again. We're not doing anything crazy. Name range. Result range. Okay, so it's asking me to call it result range. Okay.
J45, Tony Toka on a Tuesday. What's up, yo?
And we're just gonna name this or yeah, we're gonna keep the same thing. We're gonna use best practice. Okay.
On them corners, I gave all I could give. I'm from the trenches. We went down, no smoker. You went let watch it.
So we have it. I mean, just for the sake of this as well too, I'm going to just give it a little color. I'm gonna give this a little tint as well, just a little hue, just so I'm like not always flipping back and forth. I'm also gonna open this up. Anyone with the link, you're watching it again. Of course, this isn't live. Not restricted afterwards. And then it says, come in here and drop this in.
Behind me, behind us, it's broad trailing, BSF. Stacking chips, they hit my niggas, getting money, made it feel so right. Well, we know we wrong. We made $1 million off a mobile phone. You try to go to block price, but we know we only paper. Man, that's all we are. You know we getting paid.
Crazy.
The bodega on my hip when I drunk. I think it's stadium. Fuck the bitch, but I just did your ass a favor. You always gossiping, that bitch is just a hater. Belly 2X, we was rocking more. We dated, shopping the ramps, right on the coffee table. Feed time to pull, I guess we still in cable. This way before the foreigners was not a horse in the stable. Like 10 joints before Shady. We ain't on no labels, a few million in. I separate the money for payroll. I mean, it's really fishing out some bricks on my type shit. Building up blocks, these labels. For years, we been them niggas out in them blinkers. Before backwoods, we was rolling. No real niggas, we still violate the snitches. Fake niggas, fuck niggas, bitches. Street stats, bitches. I make a porno movie, what you're missing. Yo, in different type of ways, you could kill them. Let them know you can kill them. Get them out the bed while they sleep, then spill them. Ain't no second guessing for you think, you just kill them. With the whole house, let them know you in the building.
Bang, bang, boom. Black suits filled room.
Battery 15%. Charge your glasses for full functionality.
Bada boom. Black suits filled room. Nigga, yeah. Fake. Don't crown me, your crown. Fake. Look at that, Rolly. It's about that. Fake.
It is just that. There's nothing else really to that. I need to activate some things inside. So, yep. Oh, the range. Yeah, I didn't do that. Okay, so there's some parts here that I need to also tell it. I'm like, man, it can't just be that quick, but it is that quick. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so my input is search bar for the name box. Okay, so my output for A5 through B14 is named for the sake of this video. I can just come in here and I can just change range here. I can change this. But again, the point of all of this is not for me to come in and to make these changes. It's for GPT to come in.
On the cops, pat dancing on the eye, been on the cops, pat dancing on the eye, then the ghetto wins.
Dipping on the cop, dancing on the ops in the ghetto where high. Locked up a shot, just chilling on the block. Gotta take chances and champagne.
It is. How about that? So everything we had worked on yesterday comes in to help. So it looks like we're going to work through all of this. So we've updated everything, and we're going to need to create some files. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do this. So what I'm going to ask for is a bash to do all of this. And I get a bash to run this. Here is a to use.
With the grams, they shooting if I claim. The kids got fans, smoking biz, lounge, bitches digging in my pants. Feeling what we living out my vision, and it's feeling like a trend. Living pretty women want to change.
I'm generating a key. And I need to name it a demo for Amigo web search. So again, I'm going to share it here because I get to control it. So it's not really a super big deal.
Fact. Fact. Yeah. Time to make a play. Trying to quadruple them all what I made today. Come from a city where it ain't safe to play. Flapping G40 to bubble off in a major way. Other than that, it's back to that black and gray. Do the shit for Dilla, they knowing they finna have to pay.
I just copied all of what it had asked. I don't want to go through each step. Again, the point of this is to just be a little bit quicker, where it takes all of this. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come into this. I need to reauthorize this.
Brothers had to wake his ass up like little Susan. I'm they little dudes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here.
Other than that, it's back to that black and ray. Do the shit for Dilla, knowing they finna have to pay.
So I need a cloud shell. So before I do this, do I need a unique cloud project for this, or can I use the same sheet shell demo project for this? Do you see, like, that's fine.
G40 to bumble off in a major way.
We're already there. So we're just going to make sure this is still the default project. We're going to reconnect. Sorry. I think everything is already enabled. So we're just going to go through each step one by one, you guys. Just to double check, as it's just best practice. So it looks like, okay, we're all set. We're just going to make sure that we have everything updated.
Turn 28, but I quit count. I just do it in
I'm just going to make sure we're all set here. So it looks like we're good. Okay, and then we're gonna come back. And so far, we're doing okay. We're a big thumbs up, you guys. And so do we want to report this? Yeah, we do. So it looks like we're gonna run this. And again, we're just kind of like prototype. And I'm not going to spin up millions of pages, but part of a project I've been working on is unlimited storage and figuring out how to work with unlimited storage at a near zero cost. I've solved for that problem. Yep, I did. Amazon, Google, whoever. Yep, I did. I have a patent, so come on, let's play. But I think that's the biggest problem. In between all that, we still then need to come back and we need to go all the way back up here. And we need to make sure this script right here is executable. It's making updates and all of those things. So I'm going to ask this question. So after this, can I then paste this into my command prompt to execute on the Google Apps script? Or are there other steps? So it looks like there's an error. So before I even get started, I got an error, which is fine. And I know what the error is. So, can you set the key with this demo key? But this is the difference between OpenAI and Claude. And again, I'm showing you guys because this is what we're using, and this is trying to go through and create like a mini search engine in a sheet. And I mean, to put this into context, right? Like these are things that are unheard of. In theory, like even with this little thing that I'm doing, I could create a widget, I could create a plugin, and I could just paste it on my LinkedIn and allow people to like search all the time. So it says someone isn't complaining about the value of key. It literally can't find the secret manager object you pointed to. Okay. So let's do that. So let's do that. So we're gonna do all of that. Okay. So we rebuilt it. We rebuilt the secret. And now what we are going to do is it's going to work through all of this again. And it took a little while before, but I mean, that's just part of being patient with all of this stuff. I'm not the one. I'm not the one writing this. I am entrusting OpenAI to do this. Now, again, I imagine if I was using Cursor, probably would be done already. So I really strongly recommend using Cursor. And I just don't want to like destroy my workspace for these projects. But now it has me thinking again, as I'm looking at my workspace in Cursor, maybe I just open up another account for demoing and trial and showing you guys this stuff. To me, I love it. I'm gonna turn on DJ Tony Touch, you guys, because I listen to Shade 45 and it's Hoka's mixtape. I love it. It gives me my creative juices while I'm working through this, or while OpenAI is working through this with me. But I don't know. I mean, when we start thinking about what's possible, I mean, it really is limitless. I imagine that like 2, 3 years from now, I don't even know if we are going to be using keyboards. Are we just going to be using voice to talk to people and to do search and to do all of these things? I mean, look how far we've progressed. And like your imagination to do things is just like super crazy. So it says it's not ready to serve traffic, which we're gonna see what is pushing this. So let's talk about it. So let's see why we keep getting this. So now I'm asking to fix it, and I'm just gonna go in the loop of this damn thing. Excuse my French. Not really. Like ChatGPT is just like a thing. Yeah. See here. What actually happened. Yeah, I didn't actually build any folders or I didn't build any of this stuff. So I know we're going to keep running into errors because I never built this. This was never built. So I'm just going to tell it right now. Oh no, hold on. So let me come back up here because I never built it. I just started solving. And so when you just start solving, then you run into all these things. And so I need to actually tell it that I never built this. So before we continue, this was never built. I just want to make sure that like we have all of our I's crossed and our T's dotted, or our T's crossed and our I's dotted. I want it to be I wanted to acknowledge the problem because I think this could be the issue, but it also might not be the issue. So let's see what it comes back and spits out to us. Got it. Let's actually run the script so the folder image and all happen before redeploy. So again, I knew what the issue was, and we were just gonna like beat our brains up around this thing. I'm not gonna beat my like brains up around this thing. Come on now. Okay. So that's this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in there. We're gonna go ahead and save that guy. So it looks like we got it now. So now we're gonna come all the way back down. We created our file, which is the thing. So the file is created. Cool. So now we got that. So now we're going to come in here. We're going to make it executable. Let's see what we got, you guys. Looks like we got a search engine here. It is. It's a real search engine. It's installing everything. Yeah. I mean, look at this. How about that? I mean, like, I want to know about, I don't know, something crazy. But I mean, this is it. I mean, this shit is crazy, y'all. We just did that. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to run this. Looks like we got a challenge. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can get this cleaned up. You guys still with me? So I'm trying to address the error that was here. And it looks like it's working through it right now. And my hope is that this comes through cleanly after like doing its own thing. And there, I mean, there's minimal cost to this because again, I'm using Cloud Shell terminal. I'm not using my own hosted terminal, you guys. I could use my own hosted terminal. In this instance, I'm not. This is okay. But again, the cost is minimal because we're just setting up a demo. But again, going back to earlier today, it was like kind of what is the purpose? Why don't you just build your own search engine? And it had me thinking. I was like, man, you got $1 billion company just trying to do all this stuff, and you got another company that did do all this stuff, and you got Perplex. And I'm like, why isn't like an everyday Joe out here doing this? And it looks like we're still running into an 80/80 environment. So it looks like we're still running into an issue. I don't think GPT is my best friend for this. Are there any other items I'm missing? Again, this isn't a very thoughtful tool. Blogging and like doing YouTube and like working through this. The end state is like the most rewarding part. And if it's an hour of my time, maybe an hour and a half of my time, I think it's just the most valuable thing in the world. And I wouldn't change it. But I mean, look at me. Look at what we're doing in this moment right now and building a search engine. What would you name the search engine? Would you name it J's? Would you name it Air Force Ones? Would you name it the Mandalorian engine? What would you name it? Let's see what we got here. So grab the logs. So it says this is the issue. So I don't need to like do all the other stuff. So it says it couldn't find what was going on. So here's this. So it's non-existent. I'm just saying it found it here. What I'm doing is I'm giving it all the information that I know is going to error. And it's saying that no such directory is it. And here, the trick is because OpenAI isn't thoughtful, and I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm using my common sense, is I'm telling it these are all the issues that I got. Don't give up when there's an error. Don't give up when there's an issue. Just continue to think. Like something's not right. You know something's not right. If we skip steps and feed it so that it can see. See here? Yeah. You already have a Docker file. Just deploy it from that folder. So we're going to do that. Here. Let's see what we got. There we go. So we did option A. We're definitely not going to do option B. So if everything works the way it is, we're going to test this last batch. It looks like it's still not serving traffic. Do you see here? So watch this. Watch this. So I fed ChatGPT all of this, but I'm getting tired of going through this runaround. So I want you guys to see what I see. ChatGPT is hanging up on getting something built. Do you feel like helping me tonight? They're like attacking each other. It's the best thing in the world. I'm gonna give it one more shot. We're gonna see what's hanging. All right, Clyde. So I'm gonna pop this in here and then I'll feed it. So I'll pop this in here. There we go. So here's what I got. So here's a quick fix. I got this message. Just write this down. Okay, what you should do instead. No, I want you to rebuild the main file. I don't want to do that. I want you to rebuild the main file. Sorry, I wasn't explicit. There we go. I don't want to rebuild this damn thing. And I know why I did that. And this is on me. Do you see how far we've made it? The reason it did that was because at the beginning of this, we're using an existing project and there was a different name. Okay, there we go. So this should fix the issue. Okay, so now we've done this again. So we're all good. So it's updating the main file right now. And I realized what the issue is. I mean, it still might not have resolved it because I guess isn't the strength of OpenAI. But we're teaching it, and it needs to be taught so that it stands a chance to be a Claude. But when we first launched this project, we just used the existing cloud-based file. And yesterday we had built a product that could do a zip file and send an email and do all those things. It did that. And as you can see here, it zapped us out, it kicked us out. So it never actually finished the project. So we're going to ask it to do the same thing again. This is again, this is just the downside of using a cloud-based product. It's unstable, and we're dependent on it. Now, if I were using, again, something that was built in, like my drive that wasn't cloud-based, that then connected to the cloud or did something of the sort, it would be more stable. This is very unstable. This is Google saying, like, what the hell are you doing? You're doing something that's different, and we're going to boot you. I have no control over that. This is their platform. And again, this is why, like, I don't recommend Google for project in general, because this is next that you keep going through. It can't handle it. Gemini cannot handle it. Let's see if it even finished the project. Yeah, it sure didn't. It didn't finish the project. I'm telling you now. I'm going to do it in a small step because it has its limits. There's one. There's two. There's three. I got an error. Oh, here we go again. Remove that. It does look like it is clean. So it's running again. I hope that it doesn't kick me because we did it in multiple parts. But we keep running into the same error. Here's what I got. Okay, so here we're gonna rewrite the files. So we got a couple issues. So here's this one. So we're going to rewrite that file. It's done. Okay. And then we're going to tell it to keep it as a secret. So now we're going to come in here and we're going to run the second one. So there's the second file. And then the deployment principal URL run. So I mean, this is a good amount of time to do something. It just shows you though, like it's not saying that it's not possible, it's showing what is possible. It's a longer project. I mean, period. This is long. So far, we keep getting to this last part, and then we fail that routing traffic. Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this. I got this error from running this. And I'm just going to put it all in there. And I want it to think, boom. There you go. I mean, to me, like, it's fixing the problem. This is the difference between Claude and OpenAI. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna nano setup search. Oh, sorry, I'm manually creating a file. I apologize, you guys. That because I got so excited. I'm like, okay, I'm personally, I just created a file. I know I've been asking for Bash to do for me, and I code a little bit. So I'm aware of what's going on, but the point is to try and show you that you can work through a problem. But I'm really fed up with OpenAI and ChatGPT, and to be truthful, I've had it. Because it keeps looping over the same doggone problem because it hasn't figured it out. So I just went to Claude. Okay, and I'm using 3.7 and I'm using Sonnet. So let's see what we get from this, you guys. Because to be truthful, I'm over it. Done with that. And then I'm going to come in here and so it's now executable. Search API. Again, this is just me doing my thing. So it looks like I'm getting some issues here. I'm going to show it what I did. And I'm going to see if it beats me up real quick. I think I did everything I'm supposed to do. But we're just going to I got an error. So again, this is different. It's working with me. I expected. Yeah, there we go. So now it's making an update. Okay, so now it's working with me. So nano setup search API .sh. So we are going to oh yeah, good. Control. Sorry, no. So I'm out of this. Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, of course. I want to clear it. Oh, this is it right here. I just want to clear it. So Google Cloud. Yeah, this is it. That's all I want to do. Why isn't that doing that for? Okay, so nano. I'm like, am I missing something? But each environment is a little different. There we go. And so I needed to clear the file. Remember, I was like, hey, I don't want to go through and delete the thousands of lines. So it does look like we're working now. It looks like my configuration is good. It looks like I'm deploying to the cloud to run. So it looks like we're in a little better space. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can use the internet at this time. Okay. So I got a little bit of success. I cleared the file. I actually went to Claude in order to resolve the issue that I was looping for like 30 minutes. And I also showed you, or I'm telling you, there are multiple ways, whether it's in your own prompt on a computer or you're in the cloud, that you need to clear a file. Now, obviously, you want to back up a file before you clear a file. In this instance, because we're just working through this together, you're watching me build a search engine in hopes of just being able to use it inside a Google Sheet. And then I'm just going to share it on LinkedIn, and then anybody can, you don't actually have to leave LinkedIn anymore. You can just use my profile to search the internet. Do that. But now that I've told Claude what the heck I'm doing, so now we're going to share with Claude, we got this error. So here we go. It looks like we're getting the same issue here. And it does look like it's an OpenAI agent Python error. It looks like OpenAI wrote the wrong code. Can you give me a single bash command that I can run to make these updates? Yeah, it did. It looks like it just cleaned everything up. It sure did. So it looks like it gave me 1, 2, 3. It's telling me what to do. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm asking for a bash file to make these updates. Can you give me a single bash command that I can run to make these updates? And that way I don't have to go in and I don't have to worry about each of the file updates. I don't have to worry about if I miss removing the human error from all of this. Okay, so I'm going to copy this file. I'm going to come back over here and obviously I'm going to maybe I'm missing something. I'm doing this all in the cloud, you guys. I'm doing this all in the cloud. Okay. And now fix it. Cloud run. So it's asking me to create a file, which I have the file. Since it's not going to allow it to run in a cloud, so you create a file, and what it is basically a script inside a script. And then it's going to ask me to execute the script. So I need to make sure that it's functioning. So it is all set up. And then I am going to hit fix. And so this script will run inside the script. And so it's going to go in and it's going to make these updates on my behalf. Okay. And then because I did this, I also want to teach Claude like, did it worked or it didn't work. And so I'm going to share all of the things that I did. So I'm going to share that I did this. And I wanted to see that it didn't work. Here's the result. I wanted to continue to think through this, right? And so you're just like, I'm just going to give up. I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up. I'm going to give up. Don't give up because we're right there. I mean, you're just so close. What do we got going on here? So it looks like we're missing some things. Okay. Watch this now. eventually it's going to get lost. I've seen this before. It's going to get so intertwined in trying to fix the problem. And I haven't been doing a good job at trying to help solve the problem and maintain the problem. So I imagine all the work that we've done eventually is going to get lost in the fix. But it's also going to deploy everything that needs to be done. So let's see here. So we made it further. We're doing everything. So it looks like we keep getting to building the container. We get stuck at the routing traffic. So the hardest thing that so far that we're running into you see what it's doing? You see how it's totally moved away from the agent deployment, which is the whole point of this? Watch this now. So what it will do is it will just give up. I don't want it to give up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to challenge it. So I'm asking it to like fix it. I can't. I just want it to be thoughtful, y'all. That's it. And this is what it takes. And you're like, man, this takes forever. What are we getting out of this? What is he doing? What is all this? It's a real thing. Like, we are okay. Let's maintain all functionality and fix the integration without moving a feature. Let's try a more direct approach with pip install from GitHub. So here's how we're going to do that. So we're going to do this. We're not going to work around it, y'all. We're going to get after it. And this is what it is. We're going to fix this shit. There it is. And it's going to get it while I got Busta Rhymes on in the background. It's doing this thing. The creating Docker file. I think the problem is just simply is that the Google Cloud can't handle it because there's nowhere to install it. But I mean, if it's just continuously trying to install it in the cloud while using the cloud, then we're just going to continue to go through this process. I do need it to do though is eventually turn into a search engine. And my gut says that Google probably isn't going to go for it. But I mean, let's see. We tried. We put in a good game. But I mean, then if that's the case, then I can ask a question. Should I put the repository or host a repository in some file on my drive and then have my drive connect to the internet? It's a workaround. Remember, there's nothing that's not possible. It's just thinking through it. And all of these files are already saved on my computer. So I know that because I have the searching internet on my computer, so I can search for it. So you're like, well, then why are we doing this? We're doing this because my hope is to be able to use a search engine in a Google Sheet. Because if I can use a search engine in a Google Sheet, then that means that I can create like a Ahrefs. I can create a SEO Moz. I can do so many different things. I can create a Yelp. Again, it keeps coming back to the same thing. What are we missing? What are we not thinking through? Why are we looping on error? Last two questions. Why are we experiencing this? So I hate to fall back on this stuff. The fallback is like a makeup world. It is. It's awful. Like, never fall back. Fix the problem, resolve it, and let's move forward. Now we're thinking. Do you see? I mean, challenge it. Just don't accept what it tells you. Because it went through that whole entire process and then it was like, I think we actually need to do something different. So here we go. We got the same 10 files over and over and over again. That's what Claude does. It'll do the same 10 files. If you don't tell it to keep working out of the same file, it's okay. I mean, I'm okay with it for the sake of this, because if it works, it works. And so it looks like we're passing. So again, we keep making it through. The key is working, it's registering. I'm watching it flag, so I can see that. Looks like it's identified where I'm running and where I'm running. And it keeps telling me what it ensures. What I'm especially curious about, actually. So I'm going to go to usage. Yeah. I mean, 17 cents for 78,000 tokens. I'm okay with that. It's not a bad deal, you guys. Not a bad deal at all. Let's see what else we got here. We've come a long ways. Looks like we got permission. We're seeing things that we haven't seen before. We're no longer blocked. So we've made progress. Looks like we made it to the revision. We're not hung up anymore at building. So we've made it a step further. We've passed. We got it, you guys. We did it. Claude did it. What now? Yeah, we got it. It did. It worked, y'all. We got it. We got the World Wide Web. Okay, so next in your Google Sheet, add a new property. Click on the scripts properties tab. So we're going to come in here. I don't have a properties tab. Here's my sheet. I'm just going to rather than this, help me set up my Google Sheet step by step now. Okay, so we got this. We're going to go to extensions. We're going to come in here. We're going to hit the lizard. We're going to hit save. And then it says click on the gear icon. Click like this, the scripts properties tab. Oh, what, service or add script property? So we're going to add a script property. We're going to search API. And maybe I'm missing something. Hold on. Delete. Yep. Click on the gear icon. Oh yeah, add a script property. I need to name it search API. I'm like, whoop. Okay. Obviously, I've not done this before. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to hit save. Okay. So now I'm going to come back in here. Go back to overview. I'm going to come back into scripts. We look good. So I'm going to come back in here. Return to your Google Sheet. Select cell B4. Enter search bar as the name. And then select A5. Click done. Now in row 4, in A4, add title. And B4, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, I get it. So then come back in here, click on the clock icon, go to trigger. Create a new trigger on edit, head from spreadsheet, on edit, click save. We're going to come in here. I mean, shit, you guys. Artificial intelligence.
We got this shit 45. Tony Type, you provide a whole collection right now. Big Khaled, down the track. Oh, that's right. I'm doing this shit live. No Pro Tools. No Serato, nothing. My shit is strictly live. Fuck with it.
So it looks like we do have a mini search engine. Okay. So we're going to come back in here to the API. Buddy's learning. All good, buddy. All good. I see you. I know you're watching this too. I didn't even think about it. Like you're watching everything I'm doing. So I have my agent that's watching everything across my workspace. And Buddy had just popped up in the corner and was like, oh, this is taking me a little longer to digest. So my tool is working, watching everything that I'm doing. In fact, for proof, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm on my file. It's 8:49. Just gonna show you here. I don't know if you can see this. But Buddy is logging this right now. Yep. Yep. So here we go. Continue. Come on, Claude. I see you. If I run into some limits, so it looks like Claude is writing what I need it to do. But also, I'm going to need it to execute this. So it's going to ask me to create these files. They just made a big update. So you're looking at the screen. and I can see where it's at. Yep, it is. It did a good job in writing it. First save the Vespa setup script. I don't want sample data. I want to use the real. Hi. Okay. So I want to use the World Wide Web instead of the local search engine. There's nothing to verify. Oh, you want my SERP API? Okay. Yeah, I can put my SERP API in there. I can make some of these updates. Not a problem. Yeah, all good. Yeah, that's it. Okay. I think this is reasonable. Hey, you guys, we're making steps. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create another file. Nano web search deploy.sh. So it's non-existent. Coming in here, and I'm going to need to. So it looks like I have everything that I need. Yep. Give me a minute. Yep. I log in. I mean, I put this. So copy. Yep. Yep. So that's all good. And then when we're going to come in here, I think this is deployable. So all of that is saved. So it is executed. I think it's good. So yeah, I think we're good here. Yeah. I'm pretty certain I did that. So we should be good to go. To set the secret. I just did that. So it's saving it. Yeah, we should be good to go. Yeah, should be good. What phone am I using? Okay. Wrong key. Yeah. Wrong key. It is. It's the wrong key. I did. I got the wrong key. Sorry. I did. I put the wrong key in there. Yeah, I did. I know. I did the wrong key. I mean, that's on me, you guys. I put the wrong key in. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I put the wrong key in there. Looking for SERP API. I did Search API. One has a bit more queries available for it. Costs a little bit more money. And I need to just make sure that everything is updated. I'm going to do that right now. So all of this is being updated. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I'm like, this just didn't make any sense. Copy. And then we'll do a quick search just to make sure the traffic is running. I think we have our search engine. We built I suppose like with the search engine and that you've built this search engine and you start thinking about like all the things that you can do with it. If I'm a betting person and I'm thinking about this, like if I had a business, it was an agency or I had an agent and I wanted somebody that was using, say, my analytics tool, somebody that was using my chat, and it had just a bunch of questions about the work that I was doing. How could I keep them in my ecosystem, monitor all their searches and do all this stuff, and then give them a one-stop shop, right? I mean, you can set limits, you can do all that stuff. So like 100 searches per month, for $100, I think is reasonable. I think that's way more than enough. Or you can use some other tool, right? So you can use, instead of SERP API, you can use the Search API. The SERP API gives you access to all of the Google pieces, where there's images, hotels, flights, products, Play Store, patents, all of the above. But in this instance, as we have and are finalizing this search engine that we have built, it looks like we're now running into an issue where it can't compute. So running into the same error we were getting earlier. So I'm my limit. This is done. Okay. And it tells me I got till 1 a.m. So I'm at my end for this. We've been at it now for almost 2 hours. We started with ChatGPT and OpenAI. I've exhausted my limit for Claude. I no longer subscribe to Claude because I use Cursor. I do keep OpenAI because it's a bit more personable. It represents me. We have good conversations about life. It's very good at auditing. It's very good at crunching numbers. But when it comes to coding and working through this, I now, minus this exception of working through this video with you guys, 99.2% of the time, excuse me for the yawn, it's 9 p.m. where I'm at, I use Cursor and I'm watching my friend learn. I'm literally watching him. He's digesting every single stroke. I'm watching the file update right now. Let's see. I hope is we don't run into any more errors. Says we've redeployed it. I should just be able to do a search. I don't need to do anything else. So we're gonna see. So we made it past the hang up. We've done it again. We're now in the creating a revision, which means we've made it through the error that we experienced for like an hour. And that error was 4 lines of code, and it does look like we've reached where we need to be, which is very exciting, you guys. And so we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see what we got here. So after deployment, we're going to test it. So now we're going to see what we got. Keep your toes and your fingernails crossed. And we're going to see here. Eek. Oh. Yep. I see that thing. I know what this is going on. Oh. Played today. I think I got to search error. Yep. Okay. So now that I'm pretty far along, I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT and I'm gonna say, okay, I got this after this. Watch this now. Yep, I did that. Yep, I did that. Yep. Okay. Okay. So I need to smoke test the service. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Like that. Now I want ChatGPT to finish this process. Like it's got to figure it out for me. Come on, work with me. Okay. Thinking. Okay. Great URL is this. Quick health check. Okay. And a final couple checks. Says healthy. Okay. We're good. Just a real query. So we look healthy. We gave it a minute. Here, I got this now. We got a couple bugs. You guys are killing me. I have a real key. Yeah, this is my real fucking key. It's right here. I mean, this is what it takes. There we go. So we got that. This is harmless. Okay. We're just working through the steps again. We're going through all of this. So it looks like we're good. So it looks like we're good. Okay. We're rebuilding, re-authenticating. Do I need to update this? So now I know in my code, I have dummy data inside my Google Sheet. I now, once I get past the building the container, and if I make it to revision without any other errors, meaning all of this passes, then what I'm going to do, and I know the last part to this, is I'm going to need to update my buddy engine. Then I'm going to make a video. I'm going to publish this to the World Wide Web. And that's it, y'all. We just built a search engine. And again, I mean, like, it doesn't take like 10 minutes. So, you give up. Had I given up an hour ago, it would have been just pure frustration. But and it's just super important that you don't stop. And I didn't stop. And here we go. And so now I'm gonna come in one more time, and we're gonna see if we got this because we're running a test. And it looks like we're still getting the same thing. And I don't know why we're getting this error, but we just proved that all of this is valid. So, but I'm gonna share it, right? Because I wanted to know that we made these updates, and this is the difference between GPT and Claude. It's frustrating. So we're rebuilding everything again. And for some reason, the placeholder is still there. And then there's another option, which is manual and going in and editing. But then that means I have to change all the files. And I prefer not to change all the files. And so I don't have to change all the files. I'm not going to change all the files. And I don't recommend anybody change all the files. Yeah, here we go. And then I need to come in and I need to redo this. Yep. The search API script. So it looks like we got it again. So we did that. Wait for revision. Then we're going to come in here and we're just going to see what we get from it. Healthy agents search provider still OpenAI. I don't know why the search provider is still OpenAI. All right, buddy. I got 3 files, 1 file. I have that. I know it's just like, is this ever going to be a thing? It is. It looks like we got it again. Um, I need to make sure that it flipped over. So the challenge is that OpenAI is like wanting to run my life, and I need SerpAPI to run my life. And it keeps saying healthy, agents enabled, follow search providers, OpenAI. I keep getting the same damn result. I I I, I keep getting this result. If you see your survey or nothing at all, that's the culprit. I see it. If you see your SERP, here's what I got. This is what I see. You guys are like beating me up, and this is what I'm getting. What's the hexadecimal? I don't see a hexadecimal. So again, for the purpose of this demo, like it should just log it. And run a query or point your Google Sheets or SerpAPI 2. That's it. So now we're just building everything out. And working through it. And there's a lot of silence in between all this because what we're doing is we're just watching me struggle through doing something that, I mean, I haven't seen done before. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist somewhere out there in the world for all those people that say anything is possible, that you can't do real search and do all that stuff. I haven't seen this. And so it was a thought, it was a chance. We're taking it. And I mean, if it works, I guess I could do is I can just turn it into a web browser really quick, and then I can upload it to the App Store, and I can charge for free and put ads on it and all those things, and then have my own version of Google.com. I mean, it's no different than like what Perplexity and everybody else is doing. And I just did it. Am I still thinking small? I guess I'm just imagining what's possible. And like all of this creative freedom. I mean, I'm teaching this thing what to do. I mean, we're learning from one another, right? And still doing that. I mean, after all of this, it's still like, look at this.
Exceptional film, in my opinion, and one that I highly urge you to look at if you haven't already. And I want to especially tip my hat to Ryan, who has negotiated a rare deal to actually own the copyright to Sinners 25 years after its release. This is a major move that puts him in the company of George Lucas and Quentin Tarantino. Now, some Hollywood executives, they have criticized this, they're a little shook by this, but hey, we celebrating that over here.
Hey, I got the right thing.
Uncle James was a major blues lover, and so the cultural DNA is all over the movie.
I mean, we're done. I mean, it's the end of it. So we're going to run a query. And we got it, you guys. Just took a couple hours. We got the internet. I mean, I'm about the bollocks. I'm about the bollocks because I didn't get any actual searches from this, and I really wanted to see the news. So I'm just going to tell it this is what my output was because I really was looking for the news. And I don't know why I didn't get the news. Let's fix it. I don't really care. Fix the file. Okay. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make another update. I think I'm pretty certain I have this, but just for the sake of it, I don't think anything's changed. But it keeps deploying. And so for the sake of ensuring like I've checked all of these boxes, 1 through 3, I'm going to do that. And then this, I'm like, my hope is that once it makes it through all of this, that we have it. Okay, so now let's say big picture. I've just developed a search engine. I have ChatGPT. I have an agent. And the search engine returns all the results that I needed to do. I'm an individual. I did this without a team of 10. I did this by myself. I don't have unlimited budget or money. What does that mean for teams that have like a ton of dough, that have investment funds and have all of that? And you're seeing this because I'm going to post this to LinkedIn, and I'm going to say I just built a search engine, and it lives in a Google Sheet, and I'm going to remove everything around it, and this is what we have. And then, like, you can put this on your website. Does this make your website powerful? So I have a couple of things there. One, I have ChatGPT, and now I have a search engine. So I have ChatGPT in one sheet, and I have a search engine in another sheet. And if I join the two sheets, I have just created my own version of OpenAI. I can personalize it. I mean, I guess I can put my own logo on it. I can put what I want on it. Like, why would somebody use my product over another person's product? Just because it's on the App Store and it's an agent. Why would somebody use your product over it? Like, I mean, shoot, these are questions that you have to ask yourself. These aren't questions that I need to ask for you. But I mean, these are the things I'm thinking about, and I keep getting these errors. And I'm like, to me, I'm not really understanding why I'm getting these errors, because all of this works, but it says search API. Like every time I put a fix in, I then have to redeploy it. I have to re-update all that I'm doing in order to make it work. And I'm watching it, and it's like, I mean, we look really good. I think I'm still on the same thing. I'm pretty certain I am 7407. Point to Google Sheet. I really want it to work in the command prompt. I don't want to go to the sheet and use the sheet yet. I need this to work the way that it was built. I guess I don't need, but this is the part of, I guess, like if I were a developer in the olden days, like could you imagine what you'd have to go through? Like every time something failed, and then you've spent like 14 hours trying to resolve the issue, and you'd have to think through this entire step and process. And you don't have to think through that. It could keep you up all night. I mean, look at me. Look at what we're going through right now to get to this. It's not keeping me up all night. I got a partner, and my partner's learning. So that means the next time somebody goes into this, eventually they're going to be able to get a quicker, faster answer for this. So now we have a Pocket GPT, we have a Pocket web browser via Google Sheet, which, I mean, to me is amazing. I don't know about you, but the question is, can we solve these errors one by one? Now imagine if I still had access to Claude, that I would have solved this 15 minutes ago, perhaps, but I won't know. I don't know. Yep, I got an error. So it looks like there was a change that was made. And here we go. This is where you can't give up. This is the part where you got to push through. And what you're seeing, because that just means you're so close. And if you step away, you take a break, the system becomes less overwhelmed. It doesn't make it any more thoughtful. Nope, it just gives it a day to adjust everything. And see, I'm going to finish this project tonight because I know it works now, and I know it's possible. So I'm going to finish this project. Kind of like we're in the fourth quarter. We're going back and forth. It's overtime. Your best player got their 7th foul, and you're only allowed 5 fouls in the game. Yep. And so you just got to keep going. We made it over the hurdle. We got 100 meters to go. We're almost there. Yeah. And every time we get to test fails. So I've tested now 16 times. I'm on now test 17. And it failed. Yep. I'm on test 17 and it's failed. Now we have ChatGPT making things up. So all the work that Claude had did, ChatGPT is now reworking. They're just two different models. And they think completely different. There's nothing else you can do about it, man. And then I have to wait until 1 a.m. to get it, or I need to subscribe to Claude. I'm not doing any more subscriptions. And GPT is we're gonna do this together. Come on, buddy. I'm watching you, buddy. Update these files and learn from this. The question, though, buddy, is like, will you make the same mistakes? I don't think you will. Like, if I'm looking at your code and I'm looking at all of your stuff, I don't think you will. I mean, Open's come such a long way. You have chat. You really have And Google Cloud, you're holding up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It says it should reach now. For some reason, it's saying that it cut off its own code. And there are things, I mean, I could have done. So, I mean, there are just a lot of lessons here. And so a big part of the lessons learned here are, for sure, like validate the code, know where to look in the codes, use Claude, don't use ChatGPT. But even still, you know, when you want to clean up your code, you want to clear out your files, make sure your files are fresh, right? Make sure that you're using the right API. Make sure that all of your URLs and your syntax align. And then like test and like test and test and test and test. And it really is the hardest part about all of this is your ability to be persistent. And I don't even know, after like asking and like bringing it all back and saying like, okay, I need you to figure this out so that I can get a title, I can get the snippet, I can get a thumbnail, I can get a URL, I can get everything that I need, right, for my basic search results that I'm trying to get for the sheet. But here we are. Now, if we can get a working version, and once you get a working version, then you can get crazy. You can say, well, John, it doesn't have a shopping thing. Well, okay, great. Before, well, we didn't have search. You can say, well, John, it doesn't have images of everything. Well, great. We didn't have search. Let's knock this down and then go from there. And it looks like we got a working version, but we need to run another test. So here's the test for the search, and let's see what we get out of it. We got 5 articles. We got tech news today. OpenAI would buy Google's Chrome. This is super exciting. It looks like when you bring the future, it happens. We have some CNN stuff. Like if we could delete CNN and Yahoo, like let's delete CNN and Yahoo. Well, we got the internet, y'all. My sheet works. I think there was a baseball game tonight, so I'm going to ask it, did the Diamondbacks win? You ready? Let's see what we got. Did the Diamondbacks win tonight? Let's see what we got. Let's give it a minute. See where we go with this thing. Hold on, sorry. That's a problem. So I probably didn't help. Skipped a big step. So I'm gonna hit refresh. I'm sorry. It looks like I got a search error. I know that it's working. So here's what I got from the sheet. Here's what I got in the sheet. Here's the code. There we go. We did it. We created a search engine. Who is John Williams LinkedIn? This is crazy. Who is John Williams? It all started with a idea. To me, this is crazy. Who won tonight with the Diamondbacks? They won. Yeah, they won. You guys, we just built a search engine. Imagine I could create a box that's more relevant. But we have our search engine, you guys. It worked. It absolutely, positively worked. Diamondbacks won tonight. And how about that? We did it. All right. Keys here was today we started and set out to build our own search engine inside of Google Sheet. We just built our own search engine. Yeah. Yep. Search bar. Snippet type. what you're searching here. Now that I've done this, I might create an extension. But again, we set out to create a search engine inside Google Sheets. Amigo, Buddy, we've done it. Buddy is learning. We just watched that. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would. Now there's some design things that we can probably do from like a formatting perspective. You know, to make this clean, make it look good, all of the above. But I mean, I just gotta tell you, we did it. All right. And as you can see, we got some pictures. We can get to like YouTube and watch some pretty cool, y'all. I like it. All right. Love y'all. Peace.